So, welcome to this week's vlog. This week's vlog isn't the vlog that I planned to make because this week I was knocked off my bike. So I was riding down a quiet residential road and a driver in a parked car decided to just do a 3-point turn using the entire width of the road without looking. So this driver just pulled out straight across the road and I was coming in and I just know where to go and clipped the front wing of their car and somersaulted over the handlebars, banging my knee on the handlebar quite badly and then face planting in a rather spectacular way. But I'll show you my helmet, check this out, right? So the helmet's absolutely battered and then the retention system at the back is like stripped off and I just went bang. Nice. You know, it's impossible for me to speculate and say what the injury would have been, but there's a significant amount of energy that's been absorbed by this and a significant amount of friction, so that at the very least there would have been a massive graze here or, you know, some kind of cut or something. And because I was wearing this, I don't have that. Yeah, I think the tragic thing is that when you're a cyclist and you get knocked off your bike, and I'm not making this up, I'm not saying this just for comedic effect, genuinely the first thing I thought was, is the bike okay? My first concern was generally for the state of the bike. I was like, oh god, I hope the bike's not okay. I'm like, no, you don't think of yourself, it's terrible. Then I sort of started to think, actually, am I okay? But I'm sure many of you have done the same thing as well. You know, got a few cuts, bruises, grazes, and was mildly concussed. There were witnesses at the scene who insisted on calling like an ambulance, and I think like sensible to do. Like whenever you bang your head, like it's always sensible to call an ambulance or get checked out on stuff, because head injuries can be serious and they can present themselves to be, you know, more serious further down the line, even if initially they don't look so bad. So I did that, and I was a little bit dazed as well. Still am, to be honest. I feel a bit spaced out. So the ambulance turns up and I get in the back of the ambulance and they hook you up to the little heart rate monitor thing. They do your blood pressure and check you're all alright and stuff. And they were sort of like, the paramedics were like chatting between themselves, going, well, the heart rate's pretty low. Maybe he's, it could be some sort of issue here. And it was like 50 beats per minute, and I was like, nah, it's all right, it's normal. It's normally like that. I check it most mornings. Like. So it's like, you know, when you're fit and healthy and you're a cyclist, low heart rate, but most people, that's not normal. You know, most people have much higher heart rates. So sort of kind of enjoyed that. You know, like I'm super fit. But yeah, I'm such a geek. I should point out, by the way, like I really feel passionate about this. Like the NHS ambulance staff are absolute legends. Like, you know, they turn up so quick. They're just so professional. They're amazing at what they do. They're amazing people. And anyone that's ever been in a situation like that, it's like, they're amazing, aren't they? And it's free. It's like, it's just great. I'm a big fan of those guys and that institution. It's a great thing. So something else funny that happened is the paramedic was assessing my legs and my knees, and she was like, "Oh no, you're above your knees, like really swollen." And I was just like, "No, that's just my quads." It is absolutely tragic that like I enjoyed that. Such a loser. Yeah, then the police turned up, and then the sort of CSI forensic people turned up. I never had this before, and they were like checking the accident, the scene, looking at the car, looking at bits on the road and looking at the bike. And this guy got a tape measure out and he was like measuring up the bike and checking that all that rest of it. And I was thinking to myself, like, you do realise that the geometry data is available on the Specialised website in PDF, and you but yeah, I just sort of let him crack on and keep measuring the bike. Oh, and something else, and this is a good like tip, something I noticed. The police and the forensics guys were all checking out the brakes on the bike. So I was in the side of the ambulance, and the police guys were checking out the brakes to see that the brakes worked. Now this is obviously important because if the brakes weren't working or were deemed not to be in a sort of adequate state, I could be sort of culpable in some way. So that's a good tip. Make sure your brakes, if like today, if your brakes aren't set up well on your commute bike or they're in need of attention, then prioritise it, sort them out. The police asked me if I wanted to press charges to the woman, and like personally the lady who hit me, she was really distraught. I mean, I think she was in a worse state than me, to be honest. Unfortunately, in this instance, like the consequences have not been too serious. I decided not to press charges with her. I think she'll learn from it. I hope she learns from it. There's the police suggested another alternative, which is that she can actually go on a course, like a speed awareness course, but for hitting cyclists, and sort of learn about cycling safety and things that she could have done better that way, which I think is a good thing to do. Like, you know, if we can educate more drivers to be aware of cyclists and things like that and other road users, then I think that will be a great thing to do. I think in terms of where I go from here, I've got to do an insurance claim to get the bike sort of checked out. I don't know, I can't really tell looking at it, and I haven't really had a chance to properly assess it myself, but I think whenever this happens, just take it to a shop and get a professional assessment sort of done and get them to check it out, and then also write you a thing and sign it saying that what they believe in their professional opinion is required, and then you can sort of take that to insurers. Oh, the ambulance guys, bloody great though. Dropped me back off at my house as well. Like, they drove me home. I mean, it was just round the corner from where the accident happened, but still, thanks.
Right. Nice to meet you, Bella.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Get sorted, right?
Yeah, we'll do. Have a nice day. Thanks a lot for your help.
No worries.
Oh man, I am aching. I'm really stiff. But I've got the bike here. Need to put the chain back on. It's fallen off. There's not really much damage to it at all. I'm pretty surprised how well it's done. There's a slight scuff there on the, like here on the bolt, and there's a little bit on the side. The pedal's a bit scuffed. I'll just spin it round. This thing here, there's something come off here, there's a missing end piece that was there that's gone. I don't know where that is. But yeah, hopefully there's no internal damage on the head tube or the fork, because that took most of the impact. There's no mark here, because normally you get a mark here where the bar strikes, but there's no bar strike on the top tube. The bar strike struck my knee, which hurts right now. You'll have to excuse how dirty this bike is at the moment. There's no hiding it. Normally I'm a bit of a bike tart and tend to clean bikes, but at least that you can see that there's no longer a white stem. So got a nice black one on there. So that'll hopefully make you all happy. So on to the bit that you've all been waiting for. Competition time. Thanks as ever for all the comments that you did on last week's vlog. I've enjoyed reading them, and there's just loads of really great comments, and rest assured I do read them all. The winner I'm going to pick is Carl Statham, who I like to imagine is related to Jason. Anyway, Carl writes that Liège-Bastogne-Liège 3 years ago was his toughest sort of weather ride. It started raining on the start line, and for 9.5 hours it lashed it down with a temperature of just 4 degrees. I'd stupidly left my rain cape in my room. I was sodden, and I couldn't even warm up on the climbs. I think I nearly lost my fillings with the amount of teeth chattering that was going on. Then bizarrely, just as we reached the Côte de St. Nicolas, the sun came out and it went up to 18 degrees, which meant that a wonderful drying out in the sun and a finish line with some splendid Belgian beer. Loved it. Well, I really like that comment because there was a happy ending, and everyone enjoys a happy ending. Not that kind of happy ending. Well, It's up to you. Anyway, thanks for that. So Carl, simply get in contact with the email address in the description and we'll send your prize out. This week I'm not going to do a prize, sorry about that, but the adverse circumstances have meant that I can't get into the office to do that. But rest assured, there are some very exciting things happening, and I've got a couple of like really good prizes in the pipeline coming up that I can't wait to sort of do with you, and also some really exciting vlog material that we've got planned as well. So I had a big planning session this week and sorted out some really good stuff that we're going to be doing in the future and some really cool places we're going to be going, so stay tuned for that. Until then, I'll see you next week. Hopefully I've recovered. I'm going to France in a couple of days to ride on some cobbles to make a vlog, so hopefully I'm better. But yeah, see you later.